Hello YouTube world, my name is Lauren and welcome to my channel. Today I am working on my reading journal entry for The Partner Track by Helen Wan. You may recognize this title because it was recently adapted into a Netflix show starring Arden Cho as the main character. And I just want to take a moment to pause and reflect on how I remember Arden back when she was in the Wong Fu Productions short film Agents of Secret Stuff. And I mean, that was 12 years ago, and I'm so proud of how far she's come. It really is inspiring to see Asians being cast in leading roles for major productions. But anyway, I'm here today to talk about the book, not the Netflix show. Although I could do a whole other video comparing the book to the show and my thoughts on it because there are a fair amount of differences. But I don't know, maybe if I feel like it or if there's interest, let me know. But yes, to summarize the book, this novel is about a woman named Ingrid Young who works at a law firm in New York City. As the title of the book suggests, she's on the partner track and hopes to be the first woman of color who will be a partner at the law firm. Now, of course, this isn't easy for Ingrid because, like many corporate jobs, but especially at an old school, high profile law firm, she has to withstand and fight through a toxic work environment that has some subtle and not so subtle hints of racism and sexism. There are some friendships and romance along the way, but mainly this book is about Ingrid's attempt to climb the corporate ladder and break the glass/bamboo ceiling. Okay, so first reaction for me is that I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really easy to read. The main character, Ingrid, is super likable, and overall, the storyline is very interesting, which I guess is obvious since Netflix decided to turn this into a show. But what I really enjoyed about the book is that the storyline is, for the most part, really realistic, at least for the first half and maybe three-quarters of the book, I'll say. Like, I have friends in banking, which is a similar field of work as law, and I can 100% imagine them facing similar issues as what Ingrid faces in this novel. The struggle of working your butt off 24/7 to please the big boss, putting in your time now to cruise later once you make partner, and just making so much money that you can afford a really nice apartment, but not being able to spend any time at it. You know, taking corporate cars home late at night and your fridge is empty because you only eat takeout and delivery. And all the while, your friends that are not in this field of work are expanding their lives with relationships, social activities, and maybe starting families of their own. And I'm not saying one way of life is better over the other, but it is a choice. And it's a choice you have to make when you're very young, and a sacrifice that you have to commit to if you want to become a partner at a top law firm or a managing director at a bulge bracket bank. And if you're a minority, you have to put in twice the amount of effort because you may not have had the same resources growing up that the people of the majority have had, or certain traits or interests or activities may not come quote unquote naturally to you. But thankfully, corporations and partnerships are improving their diversity and inclusion efforts so that hopefully things aren't as bad as what Ingrid has to deal with in this book. And I should mention that this book was published in 2013, so some of the things that happen in this book wouldn't really fly at all in today's environment. But overall, I think the book did do a good job at showing how hard it is to navigate discriminatory situations in a work environment, because they can be very subtle and hard to prove. Now, this is in contrast to The Spanish Love Deception, which I did a review on last week, which I think had very unrealistic and unbelievable discriminatory situations in a work environment. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, overall, I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I really loved this book up until maybe the halfway point or maybe three-quarters, because I feel like after the climax, the resolution was just okay. Like, it was one way to end the story, but I didn't feel it was genuine enough and it was maybe a little cheesy. I don't know, I also thought it was a little bit rushed, and it would have been cute if they had tied in the roller coaster to something earlier in the book somehow, but I don't know, I'm not a writer, so I guess I can't critique that part too heavily. But yeah, I also didn't give this book a book boyfriend score because even though there is a romance in the book, I felt like the main purpose of this story is more to focus on Ingrid herself and her climb to the top, not on how her relationship builds with the potential love interest. And anyway, my reading journal entry for this book is pretty simple. I have the scales of justice, a briefcase, a contract document, and a file folder, all to represent the law theme throughout the book. And again, I'm labeling this novel as a contemporary Asian drama because one, for me, it's not a romance novel, it's more of a drama. And two, I just like to keep track of when books feature Asian main characters. I guess you could also label this as a contemporary legal drama too. Now, I do have two favorite quotes from this book. The first is that in chapter 4, Ingrid thinks to herself, I wasn't big, I wasn't strong, I wasn't tall, I wasn't even a boy, but people said I was smart, so I simply willed myself to succeed over and over and over again because I had to. And ugh, this quote hit me right in the gut. I very much relate to that feeling of being told that you have above average intelligence in school, and so you think that this is your redeeming quality, and all your self worth comes from being the top of the class. So you put so much effort into always being the best at school, and then later in the workforce, that you don't know how to draw the line and realize that sometimes studying and hard work doesn't always pay off in the real world. And the second quote that I like from this book is in chapter 7. Again, Ingrid thinks to herself, when you're the only one around of a particular race and gender combination, people feel wildly free to suggest how you should be utilizing your time and abilities. And she thinks this after her boss voluntold her to be the associate liaison for their law firm's diversity initiative. And again, I just relate to Ingrid so much. While it's good that the company has diversity initiatives and it's nice to be asked to be included, it's a completely different story when you are burdened with representing your entire race or gender and you're expected to partake in certain activities without a true choice. And there isn't really a quote unquote right solution to these situations because we're all still learning and adapting as a society. But all I'm saying is I feel Ingrid's frustration here. So, yes, that was the partner track, and I do highly recommend this book to anyone who loves a simple contemporary drama, especially if you've seen the Netflix show and are curious about how the book handles the plot twist and the cliffhanger at the end of season 1. You'll definitely want to read this book. But anyway, let me know if you agree with my review in the comment section below, and let me know what you think of my reading journal. If you like it, you can see more of my other reading journal entries before this one on my Instagram page at Lauren_can_, which I will link in the description below. And if you liked this video, I'd appreciate it so much if you could like and subscribe and stay tuned for my future book reviews. Alright, bye!